Okay.
I think I set up the audio. Hopefully, now that we've cleared the freaking room, hopefully now people can hear this. Tasco, have you tried unmuting?
Turn it off and turn it back on.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
I think they got
They
it.
got
Okay.
us.
Boom. Here we are.
Why have people not been liking our Pink Floyd reviews?
No.
I've gotten a lot of positive feedback from
Well, I
them.
know. I'm saying we gotta like.
Why? Because it's talking about
Space.
slow dancing when we bring it up.
Yeah, you know that's the thing. Is
The kids heard about it. They were asking me.
They heard about what?
You not wanting to slow dance.
It's just not what I do.
And then Zoe said, "What? Did it make you sad, Mom?" I said, "Yes, it did make me sad." Oh.
Daniel Centers Poet. Doing pretty good. Doing really, really good.
I am here, but I'm chatting with people on Patreon, so
Kellen Dross in the house.
I'll be in and out.
Kellen Dross in the house. Monsanto in the house. Oh,
Would you be willing to do that kind?
nope.
Raul, he won't even do that.
Vin, slow dance with your. This has like become a thing.
It
in
is.
2020. It's like the Vin has no legs thing. In 2020.
If it matters, I wouldn't slow dance with you either. Sorry.
I'm in True Cult, by the way. You said you didn't know any of the members. Oh, I didn't know he was in. I didn't know Tasco was in True Cult.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
If it matters, I won't slow dance with you either. So
I know.
there you go.
Ben.
That's my man. That's my man, Ben. A man after my own heart.
I don't believe it, Ben. I don't believe it. All right.
The Shetland sweater for the fireside affair. Vin, just slow dance. Come on, man. You don't get it. It's an intimate moment. You know, for me, sharing philosophies on life and politics and economics is very, very intimate. So that's my love language.
If I become
I don't dance
125 supporter, will you slow dance and sorry?
No, Jeff. No. That would make me a prostitute. There should be a ban against slow dancing. I watched 16 videos today. Stay home, Lucas Mendez. Lucas, all from us? That would be great. Like everyone decided to go live at the same time. Just got 5 different notifications. The struggle is real. Yes, Baltimore and MD, but Maryland, but we've been consistently going live for the last couple of weeks. This is very interesting. Look at this.
Oh.
Hey, what's up?
It's Big Brother.
How's it going, man? Yeah, bro. I am surviving the apocalypse. Good Lord. I'm assuming you're essential personnel. Hold on. You're all hey, I need you to take over. Wait,
cough on him through the phone.
Hold on for
terrible.
a second. Say that you're weird all of a sudden. Okay, now I can hear you again. So say everything you just said.
No, Wheezy, I wasn't on the last live stream. I was in the other room. I was watching Well, I started watching a comedy, but it wasn't. Sometimes comedies aren't that funny, and I hate it when a comedy's trying too hard, and so it kind of felt like it was trying too hard. So anyway, I heard somebody, I heard Vin bust out laughing. Bah! I was like, what is that? And then he's like, yeah, somebody just said Sora's probably in the other room watching a song about a movie about slow dancing. And I was like, that's true. I'm gonna get myself a really good, love story and watch that. And so I Googled the best love story, blah blah blah. And so I ended up watching Blue Valentine. It was a movie. It was over 2 hours long, and the whole movie you're wondering if the people are gonna. Okay, this is a spoiler. Plug your ears if you don't want to know. The movie was slow and. Sorry, Hail Keto. It was Oh my gosh, it was such a long movie, and I kept wanting to stop it so many times, but I really wanted to know if the people stayed together or if they got divorced at the end. And at the end of the movie, it didn't even show. It just basically showed like he was like, I'm gonna do better than this, and then he was leaving. So you don't know if he did better and then they stayed together or if he didn't. So ridiculous. What's up, Ultimate Musings? The best love story ever told is Salo. I bet, Ben, that it's probably, what is that? Like Hacksaw Massacre or something? Did you see Miracle in Cell 7 on Netflix? No. The Turkish version? I don't like to read while I'm watching a movie. I just want to watch the movie. If I have to read the whole thing, I'm like, not really a fan. We watched, what's up, Sean? We watched, Parasite? I think that was the name of it. And you had to read the whole thing, but it was worth the watch, so. Oh my gosh, Ultimate Musings. So today, Vin couldn't find his wallet. We needed to go to the store and get some groceries. And so he was like, well, just bring your wallet. So I brought my wallet, but then it turned out that I had made more purchases than I thought. I have like this little side card that I just put some money on. So I figured, well, I just use my like fun spare spend time money. And then I looked, I'm like, shoot, I don't really have enough money to get the groceries. But one of your $50 gift cards was in my purse. And so we were able to get our essentials with that. So that was pretty cool. So thank you for that. Is it good, the Tiger King documentary? It looked kind of weird. Yeah, Raul, we decided to start a little bit earlier today. Oh, the Host is this earlier one. Check out Ozark on Netflix. We actually did peek at that a little bit. Altered Carbon. What are your thoughts on Pearl at Jams? Eddie Vedder, his lyrics. I would have to see something specific because it's hard for me to like place everything, especially when there's so much going on the stream. Shawshank Redemption. I never saw that. Sarcast, which one did you send us? Joshua, your Facebook picture is Dwight Schrute as the Tiger King. That's hilarious. Well, Scarface 32 don't feel invisible. You're not. Any reaction today? Well, no, I think that check out Ragnarok on Netflix. Sorry. I actually really like Viking style stuff, so I probably would really like that. I think the last time Vin listened through his headphones, and I think that went all right. Actually, somebody did a super chat, and I actually didn't even. Randall, please do another rockathon. We're trapped home anyway. Yeah, we're actually talking about doing that because we were thinking about doing another one to pay off our SUV. We did the last one for the village, and so we were like, maybe we can do this one and pay our SUV off. But we'll see. Oh, Shot Caller. That was a good one. I liked that one. Sorry, can you please read my comment before? Well, where is it? Anthony, you should have said it again. Anthony, if you've had the chance to watch any rock band, would it be what time period would you want to watch them? I don't know. What would you want to see live? Honestly, probably Pantera. I'd probably want to see Pantera in their heyday because they have some really fun songs. Oh no, Vin's not here. This is his work computer, and I don't know the password for it, so I can't turn the lights back on. Let's see. There's 97 people. Marcella? What is Marcella about? What genre is it? You guys should go to a concert and report back. You mean right now in the middle of the pandemic? We've done a couple of them where we I'll probably do a playlist at some point of the different concerts that we've been to and we review them and stuff. It's actually pretty cool videos because you'll see some feedback from the actual concert and, some of, where we stayed and we have, different stuff in there. I think they're pretty fun. I know. You got Megadeth tickets and now this coronavirus crap. Yep, that stinks, Liam. Wheezy D, you're funny. Um, if I could travel in time, what era would I like to visit? Ooh. Okay, so I really like the 50s where the girls wore like those dresses and the heels and stuff. I think that's really a cool fun time period, but I actually think I would probably travel back to the Victorian age and hang out there for a little bit. But I think like I don't know, I feel like it would be depressing, but I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I can't wait to move. Like we live in an apartment, so with an apartment, they're like all stacked sideways. So you only get light in the front and the back, and so there's like a lot of darkness because there's not light everywhere. So I feel like the Victorian age had like a lot of darkness, which that just could be a misconception. I don't know. Let's see. All postponed. All your tickets. Wow. You're upset about a pandemic and you want to return to Victorian times? Wow. Tosco, that's crazy. That's gonna stink really for the bands. Vin just got a phone call from his brother, so he'll come back. Um, I know, Eric. I actually think of that sometimes. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, if Vin and I were like in a different time period, we would never have been able to be together. I always secretly think I would have like snuck out to the field. Vin, where are you? Probably got us both killed. Oh my gosh, they didn't give you anesthesia during the Victorian era? Are you sure? I thought they just like they breathed in that little tissue and fell asleep. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like tons of stuff is getting postponed. So, I don't know. So, you can't see in this moment, Wheezy D, like what's going to happen? They're not wasted tickets, right? Are you going to get refunded? Ooh, big Falcon rocket. Hey, sorry, if you could meet any famous person, living or gone, who would it be? Um, you'll you'll be surprised. I think it would probably be Priscilla. So in the Bible, in the New Testament, it talks about these two people, Aquila and Priscilla, and they did some really like strong and crazy things. And so she was a woman and it sounds like she wasn't married and she still like did a lot of things, and I find strong women so fascinating, and especially that she was of the same religion as me. I think that I would want to have a conversation with her and kind of get her take on some things, and I don't know. Um oh yeah, overshadow Sean. People need to tip, that's for sure. That's cool. Digital purchase concert. Oh, yeah. Hopefully you do get your money back, Jet Jag. I would think you would. Yes, Zonia, it's been completely put on hold. Yeah, Disaster. We actually talked about doing full album reviews. We have done a few of them. We did it with Pink Floyd. But what we're doing right now is that we are going to be possibly doing album reviews and then doing it like with the patrons or releasing it to the patrons and then possibly releasing it to everybody after. So we're kind of just throwing around ideas right now, just trying to come up with some different things. So um hi Sean. How long before 10,000 people get together in a place to watch a band play live? 6 months? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, that stinks, Chris, that your Wi-Fi stinks. Um, Gee, Sonia. Jet Jag, Vin did a book review. It was, Zonia, what was that book review that he did? Catcher in the Rye. Yep. Yes, Augie, this is live. This is really live. Oh, really? In this moment, released a cover of We Will Rock You? It's one of the worst you've ever heard. How can you screw up We Will Rock You? Oh, you haven't come across anybody that has it? Yeah, that's cool. Captain Fantastic. And it's not about superheroes. It's about a family homeschooling with Viggo Mortensen. Excellent movie, I promise. Okay. Oh, geez, Mark, one of your cousins? Oh my gosh, Vlad, that makes total sense that the Corona beer is taking a hit. That makes complete sense. Oh, thanks, Overshadow. What's up, Evan? Superman Red Sun. Weezy, do you think that cover was terrible too? Oh my word. I feel like showing it to Vin just so we can get a good, horrible reaction. It would be hilarious. Zac Efron, Ted Bundy. Sebastian, what's up? I messaged you back on Patreon. Evening, Sori. How are you making out? Alex, I'm doing pretty good. Wow, severe breathing. Oh, thank you. I don't know how you pronounce it. Ikenera 2010. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Ikenera. What's that? Sorry, have you and Vin watched or viewed any of the Pantera home videos they released? No, we haven't seen any of that. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Not a fan of. Oh, it was really bad. Not a fan of In This Moment. But I like Hailstorm and Pretty Reckless. And no one came out sounding good on that cover. That's crazy. Sorry, what are your opinions on Skid Row and the Sex Pistols? Okay, Sex Pistols, aren't they the ones that did that song about the Queen? I thought that it was super brave and hilarious that they did that. But I was still shocked. I had a hard time like, whoa, that's crazy what they were saying about her. Sayla's actually grounded right now. She hasn't been staying on top of her chores, and she's been getting a little sassy. We were all playing Fortnite, and I was like, Sayla, look out. She was like, enough with the stress, Mom. And then she kept playing up. So she's kind of piled up her little stack of things, so she's grounded right now. If you could turn any food you wanted to 0 calorie, meaning you could eat as much as you wanted without guilt, what would it be? That's pretty easy. It would be ice cream. It would be Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I think Haagen-Dazs has the best. Random thought, sorry. Wouldn't it be interesting if the actor Rip Torn bought a paper factory? No more comments, I promise. That was Joshua. Everything here is shouted down and everyone in quarantine. Shouted or shut? Everything must be shut down. Wow, that's crazy. What's up, Gershok? You jet jag. I know, Jay, I saw that, like, the down with the sickness thing. Watch it and go. There are dime versions, volume 1 and 2. That's cool. That's something that Vin would watch when I fall asleep. You're welcome, Peter. Sup, lady? What's up, Drez? Turkish Delight. Turkish Delight looks so yummy. But somebody sent us some one time, and they looked yummy, but they tasted like rose. And when I look at the Turkish Delight in that, not Lord of the Rings, what is that? The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. To me, that looks like it's some, like, cherry or strawberry or fruit punch flavor, not rose. No way, Disaster. There was a pastor who was arrested for having church. Alexa, hi, sorry. I am a really long-term viewer since the start, but I've never caught you live. Thanks to you and your family for everything you all give us. Oh, you're welcome, Alexa. Hello from Brazil. What's up? Bacon cheeseburger, yummy. I know everybody loves hand sanitizer. We can't even get it at the store. Why do you want? Oh, Sanders, is your job shut down? Sorry to hear about that. Sorry, this is Anthony. I read an article recently about music, and the article interviewed rock stars, guys like Sinatra and Dean Martin, influenced how they sang, even though the music wasn't rock music. Oh, really? How was it good? I don't remember Skid Row. That's why I didn't answer. My memory is like, I have to hear the stuff directly and then go. Because remember, when I came into this whole metal scene, I didn't know anything. So, it's all hit me very quickly and very long. I think somebody just asked about My Sorry Life. Is this My Sorry Life now? Well, it's basically turned into My Sorry Life. Q1297. I'm sorry, you're getting hungry. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's true, Ultimate Musings. Your job would be considered not essential. Sorry about that, buddy. Oh, man, Sebastian. Great timing that you just got a sound system. Oh, what? This is Nikos. Hi from Greece. We're stuck inside here. Have to send a SMS to the government just to walk the dog. But it's for the better. Rock on. Wow, that's crazy. Ooh. Thanks, Kenny. Ooh, I won't remember you. Eric, who won't you remember? Me? There's a congregation had church and everybody caught the coronavirus. Are you serious? I don't know. Oh, if I could have any superpower I wanted, what would it be? Ooh, boy, that's a tough one. I think I would pick to be what are those people that can change shape? The shapeshifter? Probably something like that. Take on any form I wanted. Forcing Vince to slow dance. I did. I did. I put my arms around him to hug him. I'm like, give me a hug. And then he hugged me, and then I like swayed for a second. He was like, ugh. He pushed me away. I'm like, how dare you? Oh, I know, Wheezy D. All the Guns N' Roses videos got blocked. That really stunk. Because I really liked Guns N' Roses. Really? People are careless in Turkey about the pandemic? That's terrible. Effervin. Yes, you have failed the slow dance. In your reaction video of Godsmack, this is Boss M. Foss. I Stand Alone. The opening cut has an edit of the Pantera home video in it. Ah, really? That's funny. Hello, Emily Lee. Axel sounds like a parrot. Alexa, it's very vibey. It's because we use Vin's computers as our lighting in here. And he got a phone call from his brother, so he jumped ship. And this is his work computer, and they have like very, very high security. So I don't even know what the password is to it. So I'm like, well, I can like tap on it, but then it only brings up a little bit of the light, but not the full thing. So I'd like to blame it on him having no legs. That's why he won't slow dance. That's not what it is. Sonia, you're hilarious. No way. Chris, we today at my store had a fight over the last pack of toilet paper, fists and all. Wow, that's crazy. Good night, Peter. Hey, Levi. Hello from India. Wow, that's wild. I just feel like it's a pretty terrible situation to be in. It's a Trump ad. Hey, I'm a Trump fan, Gershok, so I'm pretty much with the big homie. I want him to, I want people to have medical. I want medical for all. But other than that, I really like a lot of the stuff he's done. Mm. And then the stream drops down to 20 people. I'd be like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have said that. That's stuck. Oh. Trump 2020, Chris said. Hey, Sori, if you were on a deserted island for a year and you were only allowed to take 3 movies, what would they be? Whoa. I'd have to think about that. It would be something that was about survival. There would be that, yeah. Is Vin a Trump fan? No, he's not. Like, I think that he, he likes what Vin has done, what Trump has done with the economy, but no, he's not a Trump fan. He, he's big for Medicare for all, and so no. Fireface, good evening. That's because I am wicked, Raider. Swiss Family Robinson, James Marshall. Yeah, that would be cool, except I really don't think that I would be able to pull off what they pulled off. And secondly, they all had each other. If I had to be on an island by myself, that would be really, really terrible. Sorry, if you're a big fan of movies about music, you should watch Almost Famous. It's a fish strips story. Whoop, there it goes. In order to constitute M4A11, you'll have to abolish insurance companies, which is unconstitutional. I'm sorry I'm yawning, you guys. I haven't gotten enough sleep as of late. Oh my god, no. Are you serious that in your city somebody was shot because they weren't doing curfew? Are you serious? Wow, that's pretty wild. No, Tosco, I hated the movie Castaway. I was literally just telling the kids about that. That was like, oh my word, so long, barely no talking. It was the most boring thing. Oh my word, it was so boring. Evidently, I'm a leg rest for my wife. That means she wants you to rub her feet. Oh, Godzilla. Yeah, I think I saw one Godzilla film. How can you love Castaway, John? Evil? You like it too? Evil 713? Ugh. I thought it was so boring. But you know what? Every time I see seafood, I think about, do you remember when he came back and then he was like at this big fancy meeting and they were all like serving seafood and he was like, because he had been living off it and people are like thinking it's rich fancy food, but it was like just all he had back there. Yeah, Fireface. Rub those feet. No, it's boring. It was boring. It was boring. You're never going to make me change my mind. Yeah, see? Barry, you and me both. Super boring. Alex, what was one of Wasp's most famous songs? Yo, Carlos. Oh, it was so boring. See, Alexa, you agree. Yep. Green Book is a great movie. You should watch that if you have not seen it. Well, I didn't think he carried the movie, Mark, so. No, Joshua, they made him, did you see? Because he got the coronavirus, and so the hospital made him like another Wilson. I saw it on the news. Let's see. Oh, God. I'm so sorry, you guys. This is my fault. I need to sleep. Yeah, Gershok. That would have been better if the Avengers came and started battling. Sonia, you should be watching post-apocalyptic and fallen civilization movies, sorry. Benjamin, you're sick? Like coronavirus sick? Kenny, you should never say your wife's feet are yuck. Don't give that man some bad advice. Okay, humanity, I'm gonna stay far away from that movie. I'm sure it was boring. Sorry, can you please read my comment from before? What was it? She would think Citizen Kane is boring for not having enough colors. If it's boring, it's boring. The movie The Road should be watched by all. Hey, who's out there? I need a cup of water. Oh my word, humanity, how rude. I just like to be entertained by proper entertainment. Hi.
Dad's in the room.
That's okay.
So I'm still able to go in.
Just knock and go in and just say Mom needs water.
Okay.
He'll be fine with it. Rawl, that's correct. It only started 35 minutes ago. He needs to hurry it up, though. Well, Ben, yes, some people have really weird feet. I'm one of those people that has really weird feet. Oh, my word. What would I do if I was stranded on an island like in Castaway? I would... oh, my word. Okay, first of all, do I have fire? Do I have something so I can make fire? I would be starting a fire right away. And then I would be looking for a spot to build some sort of something to sleep in. And, gosh. I don't know. I feel like, whew. I don't know. If you stepped into a time portal and met Sori 1995, would you explain the internet to yourself? No. I wouldn't even bother. There's so many other things I would tell myself besides that. So much advice I could give to myself. Yeah, I would be very lonely. I hate being lonely. I hate being alone. That would be like the worst for me. Oh, thanks for loving the videos. Use my face for fire, says Fireface. Would you be on the island with me, Fireface? Because if I'm by myself, I'm not liking it. I think that I would rather be on the island with somebody I find slightly scary than nobody at all. I would just keep an eye on the scary person. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Is that you, Sayla?
Yep. Right, 2.
Oh, wow. 2 waters. Awesome. Thank you very much. Can I have a hug?
Ask me to refill it, so. Calls.
This is Sayla, my little princess. All right. Thank you for the water.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Be careful. Don't knock that over.
Yeah. Of course, we're always here.
Yeah, that would be really weird to be eaten by another human.
Yes, it would be.
People are saying hi to you.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Mini Sori. There's 2 Soris? Aw. A tiny one.
Well, I saw you neither. Boy.
I like being alone, too. I crave other people every now and then. Okay, thank you. You can hug me again if you want. Mini Sori has made her appearance, yes. See, I like lots of company with people. I like lots of company with people. And then I like some time where it's quiet. Like, I was in my room the other day, and one of the kids came up. They were like, Mom, are you sad? Like, you're all lonely? And I'm like, no, I'm not lonely at all, and I'm enjoying the silence. I know, Alexa, she's so cute, right? Well, I'm what you would call a social loner. Well, that's what it would be, alone with one person if you were on an island. You have friends, Ben? Find this hard to believe. Yeah, really. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Gershok, I hate Star Wars. I'll start a war over it. I hate Star Wars. I hate Star Wars. Always have. Yeah, but the wildlife would kill me, Zonia. That's the thing. Okay, out of all the kids, who acts more like me and who acts more like Vin, personality-wise? Honestly, okay, so Selah and Orion are my blood children, and Zoe, Dorian, and Johan are Vin's blood children. So honestly, Dorian and I act the most alike. And then as far as who acts the most like Vin, it's probably Zoe. Especially when they want to win something and they lose. My father used to watch Star Trek, and I can go to Star Trek a lot more easily than Star Wars. I actually enjoyed some of those Star Trek episodes. Is there a mini Vin? Hey, is the baby still awake? Huh? Oh, well, the baby's asleep. I don't know, Augie, if Ghost is even really Satanist. Carlos, then that's good if you know nothing of Star Wars. I don't know. I don't know what if I was gonna do I don't think it's more about the image, I think. Ghost is a gimmick, basically. Yeah, I mean, it feels like, it is kind of... Aw, thank you, Alexa. I'm gonna change movie making forever. That's Star Wars. I don't know. Evil 7113. I'm not a Trekkie. I just kind of liked them more than I liked Star Wars. Final Destination was freaky. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. If you had to get stranded in a Star Wars, what 8 books on the tape would you take with you? I don't know. I don't do a lot of books on tapes and stuff. When you have a chance, I recommend you watch Almost Famous. It's based off of fictional events of a real Rolling Stone journalist to follow a band writing articles when he was 13. Whoa. No, Chris, the way that Orion got named was we were at a Behemoth concert and Vin was like, hey, like that's the bassist, Orion. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. He's like, oh, we should name our baby Orion. And I was like, after like a band member? No, I'm not doing that. He was dead set. He really, really wanted that name. So he was like, then he ended up finding like Bible verses, bringing the Bible verses to me and then telling me what the name Orion meant. And so then he kind of sucked me in that way. So I was like, okay, Orion means son of thunder. So, I mean, son of fire. No, Anthony, Sori's my actual name. It's not short for anything. What? Hey, yeah, tell me some good comedies, like, that are actually funny. Yeah, the kids call Orion Oreo, so. Orion Phoenix is fitting then, since phoenixes are birds of flame that symbolize rebirth and life. Yeah, exactly. For me, Behemoth. The Crow has got to be the best film ever made. The actor died filming. What? That's creepy. One of my favorite movies was Gone Girl. I really like that. Good Omens is a great... Really? Money Pit. Watch Tommy Boy. I've never heard of Tommy Boy. Gabriel Iglesias. Oh yeah, so a couple people have said Money Pit. Do you like pie? I do like pie. I love apple pie. And I like blueberry crumb. That's really good too. Comedy, movie, or stand-up? Oh, I watch way more stand-up. I like stand-up. I like Cat Williams. He's pretty funny. Wow, that's crazy. His son died while filming the... Well, how did he die? Thanks, Scott. Hey, I just messaged you back. If you're one of our patrons, because I noticed your name, I just messaged you back. I'm glad you got your shirt. Apple pie. Oh my gosh. Ugh, I love apple pie. I like apple crisp better because I like that crispy, sugary. Oh, goodness. Money Pit sucks. Well, some people said they liked it, and then here's a down thumbs for Money Pit. If you could travel 200 years in the future, what would be the craziest thing you'd see? I don't know. Whenever I picture the future, I always picture that games and movies and stuff are like somehow look real, like you're in the scene. So if it was done in a rainforest, like it would literally look like there was a rainforest in your room. I don't know how they would accomplish that, but I always feel like that virtual reality stuff is going to become like crazily real. He killed himself on the stage? No. Was it on purpose? No, I'm not scared of the virus for myself, but I am a little bit worried about it for my father. That's crazy. Who's there? Open. What?
Some of your waters.
No, I'm going to go downstairs and get some water.
Can I have some of your water?
Nope. Oh my
What
gosh.
is this?
That's awful, Zonia.
What is this?
Okay, you guys, I'm trying to do a live stream, so give me a hug and exit.
Sorry, it's just I wanna.
You smell very nice.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Oh, you have 3 waters here.
Sela, why do you smell like a smoker?
There's water there, and water over there.
Oh,
What did you burn?
what do you mean? What did I burn? I didn't burn nothing.
Smell her clothes.
Mom, you have water there, and water
Mom,
there, and water right there.
I made potatoes, and I was
And you
eating
burned them.
potatoes.
How's
And
that
I
one?
had garlic powder.
Okay, well, something smells like
That's
it's
fine.
burning out there.
Nothing's burning.
Who's cooking?
I recently cooked.
Go make sure everything's shut off down there, please.
Okay.
That smells awful. Zoe, go verify. Take this cup.
Because
And
it's
leave this
garlic
place.
powder,
Thanks.
Yeah, I know, but I want you to go verify everything's shut off. Go, go.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Oh, can I do that one?
No, go away.
Mom. Can I piece them?
No, go away. And Selah, you need to be in bed. Same with you, Zoe.
My laundry?
What?
Am I able to do my clothes?
Switch it over and
No,
then...
my clothes that I need to actually like.
Okay, but Zoe, you need to be in bed. Don't be talking and giggling and all that. You guys are both in trouble. Okay. Okay. So wait, what happened? So he overdosed on the stage? Billy Connolly stand up. I've actually never seen that I can think of. I don't know who he is. No, I don't think you're a Satanist if you listen to Ghost. Otherwise I'd be, and I'm not. Let's see. Hello, Earth to Lucas. I started watching you guys after a couple took reactions. Love this far. This so far. After a couple what reactions? Oh my gosh, Brandon Lee was accidental death. You don't like comedies, Zonia? If you enjoy Savannah, go on Netflix and watch Gabriel. Yeah, somebody was saying that. Billy Connolly, sorry, isn't 60. I'm not 60 years old. Do I look that old? I'm sure I'm going to have to go in there because the girls are not going to go to bed like they're supposed to. No, Big Falcon Rocket. I have not heard of this theory. I'm 35. Sister Act. Yeah, I never saw that. Good night, Chris. The Emperor's New Groove. Is that a cartoon? Oh, yeah, animated. Yeah. Oh, okay. David. Yep. Oh, really? Humanity? We're the same age? That's cool. Carlos, us too. Aha. I am 35. No, I never saw Sister Act. My parents were so strict, you have no idea. Good night, John Bye. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night. I want a blanket. I'm cold in here. How many kids do you have? Just curious, because it seems like you guys are doing a great job with management considering how many videos, etc. you guys produce. Wow. Barry, we also homeschool. We have 5 kids in total. Vin had 3 of them, and I had 1 when we got together. And then Vin and I just had a baby together. So we're up to 5. It's a lot. And we live in a not a very small apartment. It's a 3-bedroom apartment, but one of the bedrooms is taken up by the studio. So the boys are stacked in the living room. The girls are stacked in the tiniest room in the house. And Orion is now in the room with the girls. Sori has 17 kids. No, I don't have 17 kids. Let's see. That's so funny. I'll Google that Trump time traveler thing. No, I don't think out of Portland, Maine, I've seen that comedian. Oh, Ben, you're so ridiculous. Who is Gigi Allen? Yeah, really, K2. Yet, I think it'd be physically impossible for us to have 17 kids. Oh, Big Falcon Rocket. Let me fill you in. The most challenging thing about homeschooling is, now Vin says that this is not a problem and that I'm not managing my time very well, but I'm down there with the 4 kids. The baby is down there screaming because he wants to be held, or he's crying, or he wants to be fed or something. And so I'm trying to occupy the baby while at the same time give everyone the amount of attention in school that they need. They're all in different subjects, like they're all in different years. So nobody's doing the same book. So everybody's doing all these different things. And so trying to spread myself out between all the kids and give them the time and the attention that they need without getting frustrated is very difficult. And sometimes I just wake up and I'm just in a bad mood. And I go downstairs, and when we start school, the kids have already been up doing their chores. So by that point in time, they've already had some fights. So I come downstairs, and the kids will be like, okay, so there was this fight and this fight. And then they want me to, be the, what do you call that? The ref between all these different fights. And so first I have to figure out all these different fights. And then I have to make sure that everybody's chores are done, which usually some people don't have their chores done. So then you have to have this big giant discussion of why didn't you do your chores, or why didn't you brush your teeth, blah, blah, blah. So then sometimes by the time that I start school, I'm already frustrated, and then dealing with all the questions all at the same time. Sometimes everybody's asking at once. I just can get frustrated. And like today, where's my phone? Actually, hold on a second. I'm going to read to you the question that was in Dorian's school. Honestly, I never figured out the answer. I don't know. So this problem, hold on, let me just pull this up. Okay, hold on. Okay, this one I figured out. A 48-foot diameter circular clarifier has a capacity of 320 feet to the third power if the flow rate into the tank is 186 feet, 3/minutes. Find the detention time in minutes and hours. That one I figured out. 47, I could not figure out. It says 4 rectangular aeration basins, each with a capacity of 50,000 feet, 3, receive the treatment plant inflow of 8 million gallons per day. What is the detention time through each treatment unit in minutes and hours? And then in parentheses, it says 1 foot 3 of water equals 7.48 gallons of water. I tried and tried and tried, and I have the answer key. So it tells me what the answer is, and I could not figure that problem out. I finally just said, okay, that's it. Maybe I gave you guys way too much. I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is this problem even asking me? And then I feel like saying, how is this relevant to your real life? But I can't do that. I'm like, no, I'm sure this is important. We're going to talk to your father about it later. Yeah, we do actually have a reward system for our kids. What it is, so when they do their page for the first time, if they get 100 first try on their page, and they had all of their morning stuff done, which is they have to have their shower in, they have to brush their teeth, eat their breakfast, do their chores, and clean their room and be to school on time. If they do all those things, then that's all checks. And then when they start school, if they get 100 on their page first try, then they automatically get 30 minutes of media. Ben Webb, you do not know the answer. Ben Webb, you tell me the answer right now of that problem, because you don't know it. Anyway, so I don't know Boss and Foss. It was just, I felt like I was like, hey, Ian, what's up? So then every time they get 100 first try, they get 30 minutes of media. And if they finish their school before the end of the school day, then that is extra media time. So let's say they finish an hour before school should be done, then they can take that hour just to do media. Ben, you just want to know the numbers listed in the problem so you can Google it. Or message Zonia and have her give you the answer. We're doing good, Taryn. Vin is on a call with his brother. So that's why the big homie's not in here. Yeah, big Falcon rocket. It's tough, and like sometimes I feel like sometimes I tell Vin, I'm like, I'm not doing this next year. I can't do this anymore. But then I come around. Because it is good. It's good to like be with the kids, and for us, we work together and we do figure out the stuff that we get stuck on, and so it's good. It's good bonding time, because before we know it, the kids are going to be grown up and gone, moved out with their own kids. So just enjoying the time now. And then I realized that by the time that Orion is in school, Dorian will be graduated. So I'm not going to have 6 kids in school at the same time. I mean, 5 kids. He's not on the phone. Please play my request. We can't, Art. Anytime that we play them on the live streams, we had a couple people super chat, which is cool. Thanks again, guys. Anytime that somebody super chats, and if we do a reaction, they take it away. Rawl. his job, he got laid off temporarily with the whole coronavirus thing. You're welcome, Big Falcon Rocket. That was a big, ginormous, long answer. But you let me get my complaining out for the day, so thanks for that. I think Overshadow Sean, the reason that my mom did the typo negative review and going from not letting us listen to anything in that, I think that my mom was going along with the religious pressure that was put on her, and I don't think that any of that like was much in her heart, because I started noticing my mom would like have these different rules for herself. I would be like, wow, I'm surprised my mom was watching that movie or whatever. So I think that I think that was the yes, Art, I did. I responded to you on Patreon. I got it. I think were you the one that requested Black Sabbath? Oh no, Snoopy. You might be laid off forever. Maybe you'll get a better job. Hopefully. Do you worry about the different experiences they will have their non-homeschool contemporaries? Oh, Alexa, I was homeschooled. And so people would always be like, oh my gosh, her social skills are going to suffer. We were fine. We had friends in the neighborhood. We did plenty of socialization. And honestly, in school, it's literally the only time in your child's life that they're going to have that type of socialization where you're in a room of people your exact age. Like that doesn't happen again for the rest of your life. So the social skills that a kid is gaining in school isn't even the social skills that they're going to use coming up in their life, for one thing. For another thing is you can have kids that are in a public school environment where they're forced to kind of socialize with the other kids in the class, but they don't acclimate well to it, and they come out extremely quiet, extremely shy, and very, very hard for them to integrate into society. So that can happen in any environment. I think that my kids have a lot more opportunities than kids that go to school. So I would actually think, the kids that are just going to regular public school, they're not going to have as many opportunities as my kid is going to have, because mine, I'm able to make more things for them. So for instance, like one of our daughters, her learning style is very different than the other kids. And you have to kind of like word things in kind of like a sideways way. Her mind just works really different. And so I know that if she was in school, they would just expect her to get the information and expect her to learn it. And she probably wouldn't be able to gain as much as she is. She wouldn't. I don't believe she would gain as much as she does in a homeschool environment, because in a homeschool environment, we can kind of work it with the way that her mind works so she can actually learn the information instead of just being like, I'm not going to do it because it's too uncomfortable or whatever. And then Kellandros, honestly, I'm not sure that missing out on high school experience is such a bad thing. High school is pretty terrible for most people. College, on the other hand, very different thing. Yeah, I'm not going to homeschool them through college. They will have to go to college if they want that. And yeah, Q1297, I'm sorry you feel called out. Hey, what's up? Sarah. Bara. Oh, is that Sarah Bear? But yeah, and the bullying and everything that goes on in schools, no way. And obviously, like some of the topics that they talk to kids about and the way that they go about it, I don't agree with. So I don't want a school system telling my kids about sex and all that goes on with that. Like their presentation, I think is pretty terrible, and I don't think that it's healthy for kids. So, oh, that's cool, Alexa. Yes, Big Falcon, I do see myself in the kids. And sometimes it does freak me out, yeah, because I'm like, oh my gosh, where is she gonna go with that? Indoctrination, Rich Yonker said. Yeah, I mean, every environment that you put your kids in, they're going to be influenced and indoctrinated by that environment. So you just have to choose where you want that information to come from. Who do you want to have that influence over your kids? Somebody that you don't know, you literally probably barely know their teacher at all, or multiple teachers, or do you want it to come from you, who I love my kids more than anybody else is going to love them. So their education is supremely important to me. So I'm going to make sure that I do what I can do to get them what they need. Let's see. Okay, there's something that I noticed. There are some teachers that will go the extra mile, but there are a fair few that don't, and even more that can't because of their district restrictions. Yeah, Emily. I mean, there's that issue, and then there's also some teachers that hate what they do, and all they want to do is just push the kid through because they don't want to deal with it. So Vin bailed you for the entire stream. Yeah. Zonia, I can hear him in the other room talking, and it's so funny because I told him, I'm like, babe, I have to work on Patreon tonight. I really need to respond to a lot of people. I've got a lot to do on there. So, thanks, Randall. I went from honor classes in middle school to failing algebra the second one twice in high school to tutoring calculus in college. We want to homeschool. Wow, that's wild, Randall. So yeah, I told him I have to work. I'm like, I'll sit in on your stream, but I'm like, I'm gonna be working while I'm there, so you're gonna run the whole thing. He was like, yeah, babe, don't worry about it. Like 5 minutes in, he's like, gotta go. Converge? Did we do that band? I don't think so. Let me see. Converge. Yeah, we did. The Saddest Day is the one we did. Classic Vin. Okay, let's see. As horrible as our school system is there some really there are some really great teachers, and I'm sure, yeah, that there's some great teachers. I have no doubt in my mind that, but I don't believe that there's any teacher that's going to be better at wanting to teach my kid than I am. That's just for me personally. Like, my kid's education is very, very important to me. So I had one teacher in school that was super. I went to like private schools until the 5th grade, and I had one teacher that was really, really helpful for me. She was awesome. Algebra 2 isn't needed by most students. It's a little frustrating that it's been a required class. Oh, it's a required class? Oh my gosh. Oh, really, David? They talk about the Bible in some of your public schools? Are you serious, Ben? You're considering homeschooling? That's very surprising to me. There might be teachers that are better at teaching kids than the kids' parents. Well, I think that, yeah, when you're teaching the same subjects every year, because you're not going to move in classes, it's going to be a little bit easier, obviously, to be able to just kind of teach it thoroughly. Although, when you're talking about 13 to 30 kids or whatever in a class, and they all have different learning styles, you don't have the time to gear it to their learning style. And that's part of my issue with it. You know, I was just looking at a girl's post. She's 13 or 14 years old, and she was like, she posted a picture of herself when she was a baby, and she was like, I haven't changed since, and she spelt it sense, like CENTS, and I was like, oh, like, that's a pretty, I think all of my kids, even to the youngest ones, would know how to spell that. So I was like, see, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that she's just getting pushed to the side. Oh, Rawl, it's not we didn't make sex ed like part of the schooling curriculum. That's just like everyday life. So that's like discussions that we have with them, you know, whenever the topic comes up. Yeah, all the kids know about everything. And, you know, Vin, when he does man study, where he like teaches the boys from the Bible and kind of gives them like man advice. It's really, really, really good. When he does that, he talks about those subjects there and stuff like that. So yeah, we don't have a problem discussing those things with our kids, but it's not like, here's sex ed, kids. I think they had to do sex ed because parents were not teaching their kids at home. And so, you know, I think lots of people found that super awkward and didn't want to do that. Yeah, Randall, that's true. My kids love reading, although I haven't been bringing them to the library. Obviously, it was before the COVID-19 stuff. It was just, I'm really, really bad at returning the books on time. And then I land with this giant fee. Because when you have 4 kids and they all take a stack of books, oh, what age should kids be able to read a newspaper headline, for example? I think by the end of kindergarten, they should be able to do that. Well, I guess it depends on how complicated the words are. No, Sanders, I have not read the Book of Enoch, but Vin and I were just talking about it because we were reading something the other night together, and it was quoting some of the Book of Enoch in it. The Libby app? What is the Libby app? What is that? Yes, Carlos, we did. We're good on toilet paper. My dad actually knew the spot where you could buy like a box of it, and so he got me a box of it, which is cool because it's basically impossible to get it now. The war on toilet paper. Plus, I went on Amazon and I ordered like a box of like industrial toilet paper. Like when you go to Walmart and there's a big roll, I got a box of those. So I need to read the Bible for live advice, is what I'm getting from this. Yeah, read the Bible. It's got some good advice in there, for sure. No, I have not seen Gravity Falls. Oh, really, Amy Lee? I didn't know that you can check out ebooks. Oh, God. Mayonnaise and ranch dressing, Vin drinking it. That's so gross. Even I'm grossed out by that. Are you serious, Seth? I dropped out of college to try to walk across America and never found if I passed that semester. And not because I had a $75 fee at the library and they wouldn't give me my grades. Why did you just pay the fee? Mine went to collections. They were sending me letters from the library and I just didn't open them. And then all of a sudden, like, there was a letter. I was like, what is that? And I opened it up. It was at the collection agency. I was like, oh my gosh. I called right away and paid it. Yeah, that's what I like, Randall. No late fees. Yeah, I think that toilet paper is going to be pretty rough. But it's better than nothing, so... Did I say Amy Lee instead of Emily Lee? Okay. What's the one thing about the kids that never ceases to amaze you? Positive or negative? That's what I need to know, Big Falcon. Yeah, but K2, do you have kids? You don't want them going from the toilet to the shower. Better just to give them what they need. Believe me.
Any talking left for me?
Yeah, we've been having a not a Vin.
Oh, okay.
Fun.
I'll just leave then.
No, come in. It's just you won't want to talk about what we've been talking about.
Oh my gosh, it's some bodily function. Oh God.
No, we also talked about homeschooling.
Something gross. Yeah, I guess we're not so weird anymore, huh? About the homeschooling?
Well, no, everybody's asking questions about it, but it's yeah. Okay, so if it's I'm gonna answer your question before Vin comes back and takes over. Sonia. Okay, so what never ceases to amaze me about the kids is, okay, first of all, one of them, this is what he said to me. He came up with this really stupid idea. And I said, where did you come up with that idea? Who told you that? You know what he said? I told myself that. And that made sense to him. I told myself that, he said. That's what amazes me about kids, is their complete lack of understanding of reality and their strength and conviction of belief in what they believe is right. Like, it doesn't matter what you say. If they're convinced of it, forget about it. That's one thing that amazes me about kids.
Johan, Sean got it.
Yeah.
Sean got it. Johan is like the most famous person on the channel.
Yep.
My man Sean knew it
Yep.
immediately.
Yep.
Dagohan
Vin.
Don Legolas. Dagohan. Dagohan. I could have been in Lord of the Rings. Damn racists.
We could have been one of those creatures.
Will TB by TB win the NFC South? 100%. I'll be surprised if they lose 2 games. What's up, Emily Lee? Egregious. Hey, Vin, aka Mr. Know-It-All. What's up, Mr. Know Nothing?
Yeah. Hey, who you been out there slow dancing with, Vin?
My brother. My brother.
You slow danced with him?
What's up, Alexa? Yeah, he was just giving me his interpretation of our current political landscape. We had a good chuckle.
Oh gosh.
We had a good chuckle.
Have you heard anything about like Trump and like a time machine or something?
Huh? Like, is this serious?
Somebody was saying that there's like a theory out there, and it sounds like it would be pretty funny.
I'm not sure.
Ben wants to know if you want to fight with him. Did you know that?
I would feel
Ben?
so guilty fighting Ben. Even like sparring with Ben, I'd feel guilty. I feel like I would break him.
First of all, Ben has a girlfriend. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, Ben's
Okay.
a pimp.
Oh, okay. Well, then that makes more sense why he's always saying how ugly I am. He has to say.
Well, that Ben hasn't matured past 6 years old on the playground. That's just Ben's way. Like that guy that always says Vin is a fake smart person every time
Yeah.
he sees. That's his
Yeah.
way of saying, "Wow, you're really intelligent. I'm really jealous and intimidated by your intelligence." That's Ben's way of saying that he's in love with you.
No, he can't say something like that. Okay, anyway. Did you know that he's considering homeschooling him and his girlfriend? They might homeschool if they
Ben?
ever have kids.
Ben?
Yeah. I said,
Yeah.
what?
In 5 years, Ben is going to be a Christian churchgoer 2 times a week, homeschooling his kids. 100%. 100%.
That's very interesting.
That is 100% Ben. If he hasn't taken his shahada already.
He was saying how easy that question was that Dorian had in his school. I read it to them.
To be fair, Vin is fake smart. What's up, Alexa?
Did you like oh shoot, what was the name
All
of
right, that book is
Tom
way too big
Hanks
for me
movie?
to not get bored. What chapter is the good advice in? What book? What
The
book are you guys
Bible.
talking about? Oh, the Bible. John chapter 3 has some good advice.
Castaway. Did you like that movie?
I was too young when I saw it to really
It
appreciate
was so
it.
boring.
I was too young to appreciate it.
Oh, Ben, I forgot you were homeschooled. I remember you saying that.
Gershok in the house. Would you consider Sori your main squeeze? I'm hilarious. Oh, I saw what you did there. It's a dad joke. Very good, Seth. What?
You're supposed to answer back. My only squeeze.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's my only squeeze.
No wonder he has no time for slow dancing with me.
Vin is a faux tough guy for real. The funny part, though, is after I pointed out Vin's faux tough guy act, he bragged about how hard he is in on the very next video. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never said whenever I ever walked around and said I'm a hard dude. I never said that. But, insecure. There's a lot of insecure dudes out there. I'm not saying that you're one of them, Ben.
That's true, Dirk.
Next to Cardi B.
Yeah. Are we like this? Am I just beat her?
If you could go inside of my mind and think what I think when I see Cardi B, then you'd never bring her up again.
Really?
She's the epitome. I mean, she was a Bronx girl. She was a
Yeah,
Fordham
but
Road.
you always like.
She was a Fordham Road girl. I mean, I feel bad for her, but it's not like,
Can you put the thing on? Your high security job. I said I couldn't turn on your computers.
Oh, would you stop saying that to people? Good Lord. Floor Cardi B.
I'm very secure in my insecurity.
That's the first step. That's the first step, man.
Oh man. Oh.
Yeah, seeing as how you stole my
No, where
my
is it?
charger. You remember you unplugged it and plugged it in.
Yeah, because I was supposed to work. I said I'll go to the stream, but I gotta work. Oh, hey Joshua,
That's-
tell her we said hello. What's her name? Give us her first name if you want, and we'll give her a little shout out.
That's a good one, Jeff. We're listening to a book about the book of Revelation right now. It's very, very interesting. I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Oh God, Nightwind. Lord save us.
Okay, I don't think this is a very good idea. That's not a good look.
What happened?
We shall see. I'll tell you later why I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay, talk to your people. We talked about all kinds of different things. Oh no! How do you pronounce that name?
What? Leia?
Leia?
What about it?
That's the 8-year-old. Hello, Leia. I hope we said your name right. Have a
There's
good
an
evening.
There's an 8-year-old here.
Yeah, she said to say hi to us.
Who does
Joshua.
Who does the 8-year-old belong
Oh
to?
no, where did it go? Joshua told us that she said hi. Joshua Coe?
Yeah, Joshua Coe.
Right here. My 8-year-old goddaughter says hello, Vin and Sori.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Fairscape
She's 8.
Films.
She's close to our kids' age.
Been absent for a while and has only recently made it back to the fold. Have you guys listened to Halloween, I believe, yet? Probably not. It looks like the little ghost dude is firing energy beams from his caboose.
Oh, that's funny. He's sitting there with his arms like this.
Yeah. We've got the best set. I think we have the best set.
Mm-hmm. He's so cute.
This week, Alan Thompson. This week, sir.
Okay. I have to work. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I literally just said to my fiance, if CV was a person, it would be Cardi B. Astaghfirullah. That's terrible. That is terrible. The book we're listening to is called The Last Disciple. So it's a historical fiction novel based on a preteristic interpretation of Revelation, and it's amazing. I love it. Joker is a better movie. I would have liked to have seen The Dark Knight's Joker. Obviously, that's impossible. But if you travel 200 years into the future, what would be the craziest thing you'd see? That's a very interesting question. If I traveled 200 years into the future, I think probably the thing that would strike me the most is how little we've actually advanced technologically. You remember in like the 80s, there was the hovercraft and the teleportation and all this stuff, and really we haven't come anywhere close to the vision of the future in Back to the Future 2. I think that would probably surprise me the most. Iron Maiden still rules. We haven't done Iron Maiden in quite some time. Revelation 3:15 through 16 is one of my favorite verses in the Bible. That is very interesting. Very, very interesting, Zonia. You're lukewarm. I'll spit you out of my mouth. Will you react to more Muse? Yes. If you travel 200 years into the future, you better bring a boat with you. That's true. Are you ever going to react to the Gigi Allen live video? Yeah, I think once we get the website up and going, we're probably going to do like a once a month sort of diversionary video poll, and we'll put Gigi Allen up there. I just need to see if there's enough interest in it to do
I'll
it.
tell you later.
And the other thing is the Hail Satan thing. gotta say, an actual copyright strike, but I think a 10-minute clip from Gigi Allen will be okay. Like, we're not gonna be able to do like an entire review of the entire show, obviously, but I do feel like we'll be safe with like a 10-minute little clip. I know enough about them to not talk about them, Carlos.
That's for that interview
Which interview?
with.
Oh,
Yeah, you said that you were going to try to contact him because he was doing interviews. This is the second time I've brought this to you.
Did I say I was talking to his publicist?
No, you said that you were going to try to message him.
Okay. I'll have to check my archives to see if I messaged him.
I don't think you did.
Thank you for having faith in me. I appreciate it.
No, I think he would have responded back to you if he did.
I notice the thing you don't get is the gore in Metal Review, the Origin Carcass, Exhumed to Consume Live 2015 version. I don't know what you're saying there. I don't know what you're saying there. Are you putting up the Hail Satan thing anywhere else?
I have to go
We
find
literally
it 'cause they
can't,
literally
because
took it away from us.
even in our creator studio, it was taken down.
But it'll be on the hard drive. I'd have to find it.
Yeah, it might be on the hard drive. But yeah. Do a Lost podcast. You mean a podcast about the show Lost? That would be interesting. A little anachronistic, don't you think? Silver Kyrie in the house, West Side. Last movie you guys watched. I feel like we
It was
watched a
that-
movie recently.
it was that one I
He's
picked.
not that into you.
Yeah.
He's not that into you is the movie, the last
I
movie we
picked it.
watched. Yeah. If there was a Vin and Sori movie, who will play Vin and Sori? Well, Vin Diesel would play me. Huh? Get it? Vin Diesel? Huh? A Tiger King. Everybody's talking about that show, Tiger King.
I know. I saw the preview thing. It looked pretty weird.
Before you react to any Gigi Allen, you and I should have a chat.
Ew, that's disgusting. Dream and Digital.
He doesn't do that. Come on. You fall for like this. He eats his own crap. Oh my God. And you take it literally.
He is white.
That is true. That is true.
Season 3 was just released.
Season 3 of what? Ozark?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ozark is one that we started watching. My very close relative in well-known Swedish metal band, they have reacted to several of their songs. That's cool, Alexa. Hopefully we like them. The big homie Dan. It is time for more Parkway, Vin. Dan and his Parkway Drive, huh? Oh, now they're all trying to G us. Oh, he literally does that on stage, Vin.
Well, I
That's ridiculous.
I don't know that he doesn't.
He doesn't. Come on, babe. What are you doing? Why are you going to the Irate Vendetta one? Oh, you getting
Because
the
he
link?
said, "Sorry, man, it ain't up." So I'm sending him like, boom.
Unbelievable. I implore you, Vin, prove us wrong about Gigi Allen.
Want to Google it?
No. I'll send you TP for Queensryche Empire reaction. Everybody's asking about this Empire thing.
Gigi Allen.
We did watch Vikings, Jake, but we haven't finished it yet, so please don't talk to us about it.
Eat. Poop.
It was a trip to see them on here, and yes, you like them very much. Thank you again. Excellent. Awesome. What's up, Isaiah Salmons? Salmons? I was going to say Salmons. Did you finish The Witcher? We did finish The Witcher.
Oh my gosh, this guy is crazy.
The Witcher is Sori's show. I felt like it was kind of like a bootleg Game of Thrones. And I think for me, I was probably so disappointed with the Game of Thrones ending that I just couldn't get into The Witcher, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. But when do I ever make sense? Hey Vin, if you had a time machine, what time in history would you travel to and why?
Oh no, I liked Vikings more.
I'd make a couple stops. I'd make a stop in the 1st century, like after the time of Jesus, during the whole Nero situation. Then I'd jump in the time machine and go into the 6th century and hang out with Muhammad for a little bit. And then I would have went to probably post 9/11 and made some very different decisions. What do you think about the Apostle Paul? I think he's such a genocide and was full of hatred and prejudice. How can a person be a genocide? And I don't know what you mean by hatred and prejudice. Paul was a human being, which means he was a sinner. So I'm sure he did have some hatred and prejudice in him somewhere. But what exactly are you talking about? Waste of time. Bat soup is delicious. You would jump in the time machine for the making of the first corn record. I don't know. I have such a romantic, idealized moment of when I first ran into corn that I don't think I would want to miss that moment. You know, like that was a pretty crazy moment for me. Favorite apostle? Paul. Easily Paul. What do you think of the Black Panther Party? Well, they got us wick for all you ladies that needed a wick check here and there. You know, the Black Panther Party was formed as a response to a certain political situation in life, and at that point they were very, very necessary. So I've heard comparisons of the Black Panther Party to the KKK, which is ridiculous. You know, you did not have heads of state, senators and congressmen who were in the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party never went and lynched people by the hundreds and did all types of craziness. Obviously, I believe that all human beings are created in the image and likeness of God. So the idea that there's something particularly wrong with white people that's not wrong with the rest of humanity, I think is just bad theology. And so there is a lot of bad theology and sociology around how white people and black people are supposed to interact in the early stages of the Black Panther Party that I obviously disagree with. Obviously, I don't think that white people are any more sinful than the rest of humanity. I think that, you know, anytime you put a majority and a minority group together, that you're going to get that some sort of ism and some form of oppression. So I have a lot of affinity for the raw cause of justice, but I disagree vehemently with this idea that there's something particularly wrong with white people. I just don't believe that's true. Obviously, theologically, I can't, but practically, what I've seen through history is the same. So there you go. Would you not want to see for yourself if the things in the Bible, or is your mind completely made up that it's true? K2, there were people that saw the things in the Bible and didn't believe them when they saw them in real time. So I don't believe that all people need to do is see in order to believe, because especially if a modern person were to time travel and see miracles, you could easily just say, well, there's some scientific explanation that we haven't found yet that we'll find at some point. And so um, there's nothing, like, if I'm predisposed to not believe something, there's nothing I could see that would make me believe, because there's always an escape hatch to say, well, there's some scientific explanation, and then you can say, oh, that's just God of the gaps, just because we don't know how Jesus did it. Now we're saying that God did it, and yada, yada, yada. So seeing the, quote, miracles happen, if I was predisposed to unbelief, wouldn't change my mind. It would just change my argument. How does theology even work? How do you determine that your interpretation of the book is the correct one? That's actually a very, very good question. And I think, they've got, theologians have terminologies for it: the perspicuity of scripture, the analogia fide, yada, 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 grammatical historical method. I just think that for me, one of the keys to interpreting any text, not just the Bible, but any text, is to understand the Sitz and Leben, or the situation in life of the audience that the book is written to. Because once you understand that, then the interpretation kind of works itself out pretty easily and pretty clearly. And so, look, we did this one time in a Bible boogie where we had a really good guy, atheist guy or agnostic, and he said, you take one text in the Bible and there's like 9 different interpretations. I said, actually, it's not true. And I actually had him do a test. So there was this one passage where Jesus says, hate your father and mother or whatever. And I gave him an interpretation. And then I said, go ask 5 Christians at random what this interpretation means, and come back to us next week and report on your findings. And so he asked a priest and he asked a couple other people, and everybody had basically the same interpretation of the text. So this idea that, if you get one text and you get 15 different interpretations, just isn't true. On the main and plain things in scripture and Christian theology, across denominational lines, you're going to get a lot of unanimity. And so, Augustine is one of my favorite guys, and that's because he was very pithy. And so Augustine said, in essentials, unity; in non-essentials, liberty; and in all things, charity. So there are definitional things that make Christianity Christianity. You have to believe that God exists. You can't be an atheist and call yourself a Christian, right? You have to believe that Jesus was God in the flesh. He claimed to be, died on the cross for your sins. He rose from the dead on the 3rd day. All of these things are explicitly taught in scripture. And if you get 10 Christians in a room, you're going to get the same answer on the basic text. Now, there are non-essential things, that is, things that are not definitional of what Christianity is, such as, what's going to happen at the end of the world. Well, some people believe there's going to be a secret rapture and then the 7-year tribulation. I had a conversation with a buddy for about an hour and a half about that a couple days ago from the channel. We had a pretty good discussion. Those things are things where you can agree to disagree, and it doesn't change fundamentally whether or not you're a Christian. So that's basically how theology works. It's kind of a weird question, but there you go. The Bible doesn't make mention of Durga for some strange reason. Clearly an oversight. Needs an update or two. Well, I'm waiting for the 15th edition to come out from you, Zonia. Understanding things that never happened is kind of difficult. Right, Scott? Like the Pontius Pilate thing, that never happened. The Herod thing. Like I meet very regularly with people who don't share my faith. And so, I don't have a problem with saying I don't share your faith, but whenever I hear people say none of the stuff in the Bible ever happened, it's kind of like, okay, this guy obviously hasn't read the Bible. Like, as a matter of fact, I was reading my Bart Ehrman book. The gospel writers are actually more accurate in describing Pontius Pilate's job title than Suetonius was. So, I just think that's, it's just funny to me. There's a reason that I don't speak on evolution a lot, and the reason is because I don't know enough about it. I don't know anything about it, so I don't speak on things that I don't know about. I ask people who, in my opinion, are experts or knowledgeable about evolution, and I bounce questions off of them. I always see Christians put memes up and stuff, and I'm like, so I send it to Alec. I'm like, yo, Alec, what's up with this? And then he explains it to me, and I go, oh, okay. So that guy was just speaking in ignorance, and I would commend that to everybody. Vin, I'd really appreciate your view on my question above. Let me check. Alexa Wallace. Alexa Wallace. Boop, 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 boop. As long as we don't confuse faith for science. Well, I don't know, Gershok, because I don't really see much difference between faith and science in the sense that people just take what a scientist has to say as gospel truth, and the same skepticism that they have with Christianity is not the same skepticism they have with scientists. So I see a lot of faith in the atheist community when it comes to science, and I also see a lot of the same surrendering of the mental faculties that I see with Christians in some situations is literally the exact same template that I do with some of my friends as far as science goes. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't think things are that simple. All right, let me try to find Alexa's question. Vin, isn't the well a main principle that your faith is one that is based upon a strongly held belief in question beyond all reason in spite of evidence to the contrary? No. No, Alexa, my faith is not based on evidence to the contrary. The first Christians were not running around saying, we believe in this stuff in spite of evidence to the contrary. The first Christians were running around saying, hey, this guy was publicly killed. Everybody knows where he's buried. We say he rose from the dead. Where's the body? I mean, it was a very rational, evidence-based argument. It was not take it by faith. And even Jesus, I had a conversation with Arn Ra, where he had the misconception that Jesus walked around and said, just believe what I say, just de facto. Jesus didn't say that. He literally said the opposite. He said, don't believe my words if you don't see me doing things that nobody else can do. But if I am doing things that nobody else can do, then you probably should listen to what I have to say. So no, Alexa, I would disagree with that. Although I will say that many maybe well-meaning Christians would say that that is the best definition of faith. My perspective, based on what I see from Jesus's teaching, is that there is knowledge, right? There's knowledge. There's like absolute hardcore knowledge, and we are not omniscient. And so, you know, I don't know if you've ever heard the question, how do you know that you're not a brain in a vat? You know, and you don't know definitively that you're not certain that you're not a brain in a vat. And so there's knowledge, and then there's certainty. And because we're not omniscient, we cannot have certainty on pretty much anything. But in between that is the glue that holds knowledge and certainty together is what I call faith, which is a necessary element in order to function in the world. I mean, you know, I've said all the time, like if you've ever been on an airplane, that is a massive act of faith. You're trusting that the guy hasn't shot himself up with heroin. You're trusting he's not some terrorist who's going to crash a plane in the side of a mountain. You're trusting that he actually went to flight school and didn't have a twin brother that took all his tests for him. Like, you're trusting a lot of things when you go into an airplane. You don't have certainty that that plane is going to land. But that's an act of faith. And it's the same thing with relationships. That's why when a guy cheats on a girl, you say he's unfaithful because he broke the faith. So when you're in a situation when you cannot have certainty, but you do have knowledge, there's got to be some glue that brings both of those together, and that's what I call faith. So it's like I said, even if a person could witness Jesus bodily rising from the dead, that doesn't necessarily mean that definitively that you can know for certain that he's God. Maybe he's a space alien who came up with some technology to remetabolize himself and rise from the dead. There's like literally trillions of ways to interpret, those actions. And um, so yeah, I think all of us have to function on faith. None of us can function on absolute certainty in everything. You should watch the Aaron Ra discussion where Aaron Ra, he says he's an epistesist, and that means he only believes things based on evidence. So he was talking about Hammurabi's stela in the Louvre, and I said, how do you know that was the actual stela of Hammurabi? And it basically came down to, well, he believes that the procurators at the Louvre wouldn't lie to him. Well, that's an act of faith. So anyway, that's what I would say. I'd say everybody, in order to function in a world when you're not omniscient, you have to have some level of faith in not only theology or ultimate questions, but in basic everyday life. You cannot function in the real world without faith because none of us are omniscient. So there you go. Well, the thing about circular logic to me is very interesting because everybody at the base level has circular reasoning. So like if I were to say to you, prove to me that the laws of logic exist without using logical syllogisms, you wouldn't be able to do it because the only way you could prove logic is to use logic. So everybody at the base level of their worldview, if you believe in a rational, logical worldview, has a circular worldview at the ground level. The way to tell the distinction between a vicious circle and a virtuous circle is if the person can remain consistent with themselves in all aspects of life, which is a very complex system. And so I would commend that to you, Kellen Dross. What if we're just a side effect of an unconcerned power's actions? That is a possibility. That is a possibility. Wearing a sweater at the end of March. Is this the power of global warming? I was just driving. We were driving outside earlier today, and it was snowing out here actually, and I'm like, boy, that's a very interesting one. Trust and faith are not analogous. That's just not true. Go to any thesaurus and you'll see that trust and faith are interchangeable terms. In my experience, people get into the minutia of terms like that because they want to dodge all the negative freight that they've loaded into the term faith because they don't want to admit that their worldview is based on faith. So if you want to get into that semantic game, like I'm not going to wrestle with you on it. I'll just say go check out a thesaurus and then come back and tell me that faith and trust are not analogous at all. Right. His master's voice. It just means climate change. Right. If buffaloes have wings, why can't they fly? It's a very good one. Very, very good one. Vin said himself there are a few bands he would never review. Yeah, there actually, I don't know. There's only one band in my current consciousness that I will never review. We've actually reviewed one song in that genre. So we looked at it, and then Damon Sage had the genre, and we've actually reviewed a song in that genre. But yeah, there's one particular band that I will not review. That's true. Well, yeah, Morax, because like I said, even just in the practical real world, you can't drive, you can't be in a relationship, you can't do anything without a modicum of faith. So I think we did the Smiths one time. Do you think an atheist can make the argument that rights are derived not from the state but are innate in every individual? Well, I think it would be awesome if they believe that, but of course they cannot. You cannot establish human rights as an innate thing from an atheist worldview. That's impossible. And if I was an atheist, I wouldn't even try. But of course not. I mean, again, that's why the founding fathers rooted human rights in the creator and not in the state. So, no, I think that's impossible. Reese, you can absolutely request a song. You can absolutely request a song. Good day. What's up, Shane? Well, Lori Pooh, if I told you the band, it would go against me being against the band. Right? So, no. Would you feel comfortable in an Orthodox church? I would feel comfortable anywhere that Jesus is preached. I like high church stuff. I like a lot of solemnity and quiet and ritual, actually. So I would feel very, very comfortable. I said trust and religious faith are not analogous. You are the one playing semantics. No, Eric. Again, it just depends on what you're calling religious faith. As I said, the early Christians did not root their belief in complete blind following. They rooted their belief in an evidence-based event. When they were told initially of the resurrection, they were more skeptical than you were. So, what do you mean by religious faith? What does that mean? Do you mean religious faith like the way that many people slavishly follow scientists in their conception of reality? What do you mean by religious faith? What do you mean by that? Here's Britannica's definition of religious faith. Faith, religion, faith, inner attitude, conviction, or trust relating human beings to a supreme God or ultimate salvation. In religious traditions, stressing divine grace, it is the inner certainty or attitude of love granted by God himself. Okay? That is not... that doesn't in any way, shape, or form militate against anything that I said. Are lightning storms evidence of Zeus? No. But if a guy named Zeus came down, did incredible things that nobody else had done, died, and then nobody could find his body after 3 days, and then the people that ran away from him to save their own skins when he died, all of a sudden turned around and were willing to die for the message that he rose from the dead, especially when there were other people claiming to be Zeus whose following died at his death, then I'd say, okay, well, we need to have a separate discussion about this guy. The problem with these comparisons is that Jesus Christ is an actual historical figure that actually lived on the earth. So that's the issue that you have to contend with. So I mean, do what you will with that, but those analogies don't really work when it comes to a historical person, right? Yeah, and look, Zonia, when Zonia says, I'd say that faith is a plague that many people fall victim to, religious, non-religious alike. It's best to avoid relying on belief and question everything as being mutable and uncertain. Yeah, I mean, I think that is an inefficient way to live life. I don't think that faith is a plague. I think that faith is a necessary consequence of not being omniscient. And so, I don't know how you could have a relationship. Can you imagine being in a relationship with a guy or a girl, and the girl says, "Baby, I love you," and you're like, "Well, I'm going to question everything." Like, I think that would be a plague. There are some things where you shouldn't question it. There are some things where, like, if the girl gave you enough evidence that she genuinely loves you, you then cross the line. Sure, if you want to apply the question all reality thing, go for it. I just think you'll end up alone. That's just one example. You know, how could you get on a plane? Question everything. It's a plague to believe that that pilot's going to get you from New York to California. I just don't think. For me, I'm a big pragmatist, and like, so my worldview has got to work in the real world. And so that's one of my principles. Like, I need something that's going to work on Tuesday at 6:30. And so the whole question everything, faith is bad, it doesn't work in the real world. So I hear what you're saying, and I think there's some value to questioning things. I agree. But I don't think it's valuable or practical or human to view faith as a plague. Well, you believe, Gershok, that the alarm clock will work at 6:30. But there are malfunctions all the time. Believe me, I have people all the time. I say, why were you late? Oh, my alarm clock messed up. Well, 90% of the time they're lying, but 10% of the time it's true. The electricity went out at night. You didn't know it. Circuit breaker got rebooted, and now the whole thing is flashing at 12. You believe those things. You're not certain. Plague of faith is my new band name. That's actually a pretty smart. That's pretty smart. Plague of faith. It's a good one. Vin, do you think the world will inherit in the aftermath of the pandemic to be worse than the quarantine itself? I don't know. I've got a lot of ideas and thoughts about the situation, and I'm purposely staying away from it. So all I'll say is I don't know. Vin, if you had absolute power to change one historical event in Western civilization, change history, what would it be? Obviously, the transatlantic slave trade. I've got a vested interest in that, right? It'll be a country pop band. Look, do a song, Z, from the band Plague of Faith, and we'll review it. Got a question. Do you feel that there is underlying conflict between Catholics and Protestants? I think, the closer you get to the 15th, 16th century there were. I don't think that there is so much anymore, especially after Vatican II. After Vatican II, the Catholic Church basically said, you guys are brothers. You're just separated brethren. You guys are just, you moved out of the house, but you guys are all right. So
I disagree. I think that there is still conflict.
Vatican II and JP. Oh, of course, Sori's in the house, so she'll have another perspective. But
look,
Vatican II and JP2 did a lot to bridge gaps between Catholics and Protestants. And the other thing is that most Protestant, like we call ourselves Protestants.
Yeah.
But most Protestants aren't really Protestant. They're just not Catholic evangelical or whatever. They have no idea about what was going on in the Reformation, what the actual issues are, what the current issues are, any of the five solas, yada yada yada. So most Protestants aren't really Protestants in the proper historical sense anyway. And so there you go. But Sori has Catholic family background, so she probably has a different interpretation of history than I do.
Yeah, I think, what did he say? Is there like some tension between the two?
I think they said
Doesn't Protestant mean like anti-Catholic? Against Catholicism?
Well, Protestant would be those protesting the Bishop of Rome, yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
But a lot of people, where do you find these people? Who's still protesting the Bishop of Rome?
No, it's kind of just hung on. Like, we're not, I just think that there's tension within my family. Like, some of my family is Catholic and some are Protestant. And there is that religious tension that you feel when everybody gets together.
Yeah.
There's no escaping it. It's definitely bad. And it was, it's in my experience that, yes, there's still tensions. And, Christian people are very scared of a lot of the things that the Catholic people do. You wear your rosary and Christians are like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Was Martin Luther racist? He was definitely anti-Semitic. Now, some Luther apologists will say, well, he was anti-Semitic for theological reasons. I don't care why you were anti-Semitic. You're an anti-Semite. So, Luther definitely did his thing, and he's a great man, but he's still a man. And as Spurgeon said, the best of men are men at best. And so I don't really expect.
Hey, K2.
I didn't really expect much from him. It's amazing to me that you believe in the same thing. There's still such a resentful divide. Well, I mean, again, Sori has a regional experience between Catholicism and Protestantism because in Maine, there's a lot of French Canadian background, right? So you've still got that old generation of French Canadian Catholics who received the Catholic faith prior to Vatican II. So, like, for example, your background, your family, your grandpa and all that, he's a pre-Vatican II Catholic. So his perspective on things are going to be a lot different. You take somebody that's our age who's a Roman Catholic, and I doubt very highly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
so,
that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Right. So it's regional and it's generational.
Generational, yeah.
So,
I feel like our generation is more okay with
right
things.
Right. Sorry, did the priest dunk you head first or feet first into the water? That's a good question.
No, I dunked myself.
That's actually true.
Actually, I was baptized as a baby. I was baptized Catholic as a baby.
Seth, Gottschalk.
So that is why my grandfather says I am absolutely going to hell. Because I was baptized Catholic, but I do not live my life as a Catholic.
I don't know how
That's
you
it
could
for
say
your girl, sorry.
I don't know how you could say Martin Luther despised Augustine when his entire book Bondage of the Will was basically a free quotation of Augustine every third page. B.B. Warfield said that the Reformation was a battle of Augustine's soteriology versus his ecclesiology. Basically, Augustine's doctrine of salvation, which would be what Luther and the Reformers jumped on, versus Augustine's doctrine of the church, which is what the Catholics jumped on. And so you can find places where Luther would be upset at Augustine for that reason, and then you can find other places where Luther loved Augustine for that reason. What's up, my socially distant dudes? What's up, Steve?
We're going to record soon.
How do you like... 10 minutes, guys. How do you like the Pats' chances without Tom Brady? Jared Stidham is apparently highly vetted by Belichick. Belichick, you know what? I'll know more about what Belichick actually thinks of Stidham at the draft. Okay. But as far as what we're hearing right now, there's a lot of belief in Stidham, and he's obviously a more athletic version, but people are trying to compare him to Tom and saying that he's as detail oriented as Tom and as driven as him. Okay, we'll see. The guy's a once in a lifetime guy, but I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I do believe that Bill Belichick is an amazing coach, and so I don't expect to see a ton of drop off. But if they don't get Stidham some weapons, man. I mean, look, they were ranked dead last in separation. The receivers were ranked literally dead last in the NFL in separation. That means the receivers on the Cincinnati Bengals got more separation than the Patriots did. And yet Brady was able to bring them to a playoff. So if they don't get an improvement upon N'Keal Harry, I almost feel bad for Stidham, because there's going to be this whole narrative crafted that, Tom left and then the whole thing went south and yada, yada, yada. And he's going to bear the brunt of that. And I think that, they got to get at least one receiver that can get some separation for this kid. Otherwise, it's going to be terrible. The real homies get baptized in a dunk tank. I will repeat, the Bills are winning the East this year. They've got the running game. They definitely have the passing game. They definitely have the defense. I would put the Bills as a favorite, and I would put them I put the Bills in the AFC Championship. I've got Bills versus Chiefs in the AFC Championship. That's how much I believe in the Bills. I don't think Ben is going to be fully recovered, and I think the Bills have the youth. They've got the talent. They've got the coach. They've got offense and defense. Special teams is kind of creaky, but they've got 2 of the 3 phases of the game down pretty good. So I'm very, very high on the Bills. Very high on the Bills. What are your thoughts on social Trinitarianism? Define social Trinitarianism for me. What do you think of the world of paleontology, knowing the stigma between religion and evolutionary theory? Yeah, I'm kind of confused at why Christians want to make Genesis 1 a science book. Just those people were not asking those questions. Those people were asking theological and identity questions. They were not asking science questions. So I love paleontology. I love science. Science was actually, aside from history, my favorite subject in school. I made my mom buy me a little lab set so I could look at rocks under my magnifying glass in Florida. I pestered her for an entire year. She finally broke down and bought me a little microscope set and all that. So I love that. I remember I was actually taught about the dinosaurs in Catholic school. St. Andrews. Or St. Andre's, I think was the name of the school. And that's when I fell in love with the Triceratops. Everybody was going after the T-Rex. I'm like, screw that. I'm going for the Triceratops. I was taught about dinosaurs and all that jazz in Christian school. So I don't really know. I got to tell you, I didn't know about this denial of dinosaurs and stuff until I was 22. I was sitting next to my buddy. I'll never forget. His name is Rubio. And he was like, yeah, man, you guys don't believe in dinosaurs. I'm like, what do you mean we don't believe in dinosaurs? Who are you running into? And then I went home and Googled it. And sure enough, there were lots of Christians who didn't believe in it. So, no disrespect to them. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. So you agree that God doesn't create humans? No. God knits us all together in our mother's womb. Just as Genesis 1 is not designed to answer scientific questions, science is not designed to answer ultimate questions. Science is just there to tell us what's happening in the observable physical universe. That's all that science can do for us. And theology is there to explain to us the metaphysical universe, origins, and ultimate questions. And there is overlap, but one does not delete the other. Broadly, I'm very interested in this. Social Trinitarianism is the idea that the Trinity consists of 3 distinct minds and wills. In a sense, in social Trinitarianism, God's not an individual, but a group of individuals. And that's just how I would define the Trinity itself. That there's one being who's God, but within the one being of God, there are 3 distinct centers of consciousness that we call Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So, I'm with it. I'm with it. Do you think that Christianity is theologically and ontologically compatible with the Eastern religions? Are those billions of people all wrong? Well, yes. They're wrong. If Jesus is right, then they're all wrong. I'm a fan of, I've been studying a lot of Hinduism. Hinduism is eminently fascinating to me. In the form of Hinduism I'm studying right now, Krishna is the highest personality of Godhead. And there's about, I think, close to 1 billion people that believe that. Well, they're wrong. If Jesus is right, which is the whole thing. Jesus kind of made it very simple. He says, nobody's coming to God except through me. I'm the only way. Okay? So he kind of simplified things. Either he's wrong and then other people are right, or he's right, and if he's right, then everybody else is wrong. I'm not a postmodernist, so I don't have a problem with saying that billions of people can be wrong. That doesn't bother me, because it's just a matter of logic. Look, if I believe that 2 + 2 is 4, and 99.99999% of the planet believes that it's 5, they're all wrong, and I'm right. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with ultimate reality. And anybody who agrees with ultimate reality is right, and anybody who disagrees with it is wrong. And that's not arrogance. It's just reality. Or everyone's wrong, K2. That's another one. Press 22 for Web Week. Kind of an egotistical thing for Jesus to say, unless it's true, right? If it's true, then it's the most loving thing he could possibly say. I don't teach my kids to deny reality and call it humility. I think that that's a really, that is one of the things that annoys me more than anything else is the sort of false humility. Like LeBron James gets, oh, I'm just like anybody else. No, you're not. You're the greatest basketball player of all time. So look, I to me, authentic humility is recognizing that all of your greatness came from God. Denying your greatness is not authentic humility to me. So it would not be egotistical for Jesus to say that if he's telling the truth. Was St. Augustine African? Well, yeah, hippos in Africa. So yes. What's up, Bricktown? What's your opinion on deistic beliefs? I think deistic beliefs make a lot of sense, and I think to me, this is just my perception. And to be quite frank with you, I haven't had a deistic friend. Like, I've had a Hindu friend, I've had Muslim friends, I've had atheist friends. I haven't had like a deistic friend. But to me, deism seems to be a reaction to, on the one hand, being conflicted with all the apparent, I'm just saying apparent because I only have 5 minutes left and I don't want to argue about stuff, but all the apparent design in the universe, while at the same time dealing with the problem of evil. And so to me, it seems like they're saying, well, look, we can't say there's no God. I mean, look around. Okay, fine, there's a God. But we can't say there's an involved God because look at all the shit that's happening. Look at this coronavirus stuff. I just broke my own rule. I'm not supposed to mention that on the thing. So to me, it's a very, very rational way of interpreting the world. So I have a lot of affinity for deists.
Little bunny foo-foo, hello.
A ton.
DJ, jeez. What are you guys talking about?
Religion and social construction are created by man to control the masses. Well, there it is. Juan Velasquez has spoken. You should have told Nero that when he was setting all those Christians on fire in the name of statism and not religion. So if you sit and confess because you're scared of God versus belief and following the word, do you think you'll be accepted by Christ? Yeah. The ultimate command is not be afraid of the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, right? The ultimate commandment is love the Lord your God. And so God's ultimate desire is to know and be known, to love and be loved. And so that's the ultimate ticket. People who, look, I think, it's kind of like, Home Alone, the original Home Alone, where there was that old man across the street and he was a terrible guy and Kevin was scared of him the whole time. He was scared to death of him. And then by the end of the movie, you find out that the guy was really a kind-hearted, gentle soul. And so I think that a lot of people kind of have that relationship with God where initially when they run into him, he's like, they're scared and they're whatever. And then as the relationship progresses, they find he's a kind-hearted, gentle soul and they fall in love with him. I don't think that an authentic Christian lives in a constant state of terror. And it was very interesting in the scripture. It says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. It says that in Proverbs. But then toward the end of the Bible, like the third book before the end, it says, there's no fear in love and perfect love casts out fear. And I think there's a message there to move away from terror into love. And so that's how to answer that question. I come here to get my religious fix, says Tasco. Vin, can you give advice for a friend who's passing through a difficult situation in his life and he's going into a hard depression? I think in real practical terms, obviously you guys know I'm a Christian, but in real practical terms, one, I would say it's especially in our current situation, finding as much human contact as you possibly can have, I think is important. And then finding the best positive human contact you can have is important. Reaching out to your friends, like, the REM song is really important. Find comfort in your friends. I went through a situation a couple weeks ago, maybe a month and a half ago, and I have a group of people in the village that I consider, I don't know how to say. I'm not trying to insult anybody, but they're my friends at a little bit of a deeper level. Obviously, you can't be friends with 150,000 people, but so I had another personal tragedy. Surprise, surprise. Somebody died, and so I was prepared to just like, okay, I'm gonna do the Vin thing and just kind of eat it and just go along with life, and God was like, no, tell your friends. So I told my friends, I said, hey, this happened. One of my coworkers, yada, yada, yada. And, my friends were there for me. Atheist, Christian, gay, straight, otherwise, they were there for me. And it was helpful. Obviously, I have a spiritual component to my life. So that was like my ultimate comfort. But it was important for me as a person to grow, to go to my friends and say, hey, this happened. I'm pretty down about it, yada, yada, yada. And, one of them actually wrote a song for me, which I thought was that was cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, take comfort in your friends, right? And obviously, as a Christian, I'm going to say, go to God. Like my favorite preacher said, He's your only soul's comfort, which. It's like, how do you make sense? You just said, go to my friends. Now you're saying God's my only soul's comfort. And my harmonization of that is to simply say, God was working through my atheists, gay, lesbian, whatever friends, to give me that comfort, because God loves to comfort people through other people. And so, I went to my friends, and I also went to the source. And prayer, a lot of people don't understand what prayer is, and we're supposed to be doing a Bible boogie on that, but my life's been pretty hectic the last couple of weeks. But sometimes crying Godward is prayer, yelling Godward is prayer, writing, journaling is prayer. I was up last night till 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, and I was just writing. So there's a lot of things that count as prayer. So just journaling Godward, and those types of things. So that's what I would do. And then obviously, if you have more than just, because I get seasonal depression, but if you get more than that, then I definitely think you ought to consult a doctor, and not be afraid to do so. And it doesn't mean you're less of a man or less of a woman or anything if you get help. I think that that's very, very important. So there you go.
Look at this. Sorry, I know you're on a heavy note. Vin and Sori, Phil the Bez, irate here. This is on the irate one. Thank you for your awesome first-time reaction to our classic Vendetta. Yes, it was a diss track to a California band who stole our name. Trust me, their retort was as weak as the new metal they played. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks again.
Yo,
I'm gonna
pin that shit and then tell him we'll do an interview with him if he wants, obviously. Good Lord. The chief end of man, to glorify God and enjoy Him forever. Seth. Vin, is Islam the scourge of humanity? Well, tell the Jews that who were fleeing from the Crusaders and went to Salahuddin for comfort and aid. There's a lot more to Islam than you know, sir. Secretly, X and Vin is homies and can get along, but on stage, we totally hate Christianity because we're all edgy, angsty teenagers, according to our fans. We go buy our shirts. Yes. On a serious note, though, you should buy Gersock shirts because they're quality shirts and they do a lot of really good work on the design.
I love my Gersock shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BM fan in the house. Vin, don't you think it's awesome Catholics acknowledge an African theologian as a founding father? I think they're light years ahead. No, I mean, Roman Catholics have been historically not just Augustine, but Athanasius, the top people that formed early Christianity. Roman Catholics have always talked about the African fathers and have given credit where credit is due. It's evangelicals that need to catch up, and I'm speaking as an evangelical. Any exciting reactions coming up? I'm not sure.
We never know if they're exciting until we're recording them.
Thanks, Volbeat.
All right, babe, we gotta record.
Yep.
Speaking of recording,
I said 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago, but
Yes.
Volbeat asked a very, very important question.
yes, I understand that, but
So-
now it's time.
Now it's sorry, BM fan. We got out of here. Sorry.
I would like to get to bed
Yeah.
before it
Before.
switches to the next day.
Right. And we still have to play some we still have to
Fortnite. Record 2 videos, and I
And-
still have to go cook your supper.
And we also have to play Fortnite.
Well, then you better say goodbye.
God only talks to people that read the Bible. That's not true. As a matter of fact, the majority of the people God talks to on earth are not people who read the Bible. Yeah, inshallah. BM fan, text me so that we can coordinate when you're going to be on, because I miss talking to you. I'm always looking for you 100% of the time in these things. So text me, you fool. Shalom, Mishmocha. All right, guys. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for coming out. We got to do this again really, really quick. Missed you guys. Love y'all. But we got to go now record. Frank Perry, I don't have your number. Zonia, please give BM Fan my number. I got to go, guys. Vin out. Oh, hold on. I got to do this thing on my jiggy. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what they are doing.
Good night.
Good day. Okay, there you got that. Quit there. Quit
Bye, guys.
there.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, are we really leaving now?
Hey, look at that. Vin, don't know if you flow that way, but you're hot. Finally, I get
Oh,
some validation
love.
after all the work I've been putting in.
All right, sorry out.